everybody, and welcome to Between Plays Stock Market Strategies. And today we have crypto with Alex. Alex, how you doing, man?
It's exciting times, Albert. I can't wait to do this video. There's a lot of stuff we have to go over.
Hey, listen. I know that we've been, following a lot of what's been happening on this whole Binance, FTX, and all this kind of stuff. It's been pretty much rock and roll. Just so that, just want to, just before we get on to that, just want everybody to know, like, we have changed the background, like we said we're going to do. We're working on our app. We're going to be doing something with that in the metaverse. It's going to be pretty cool, and naturally working on being able to use like different things, like different instead of just having like one mode, like it might freeze for a second because we're not using the right app and all this kind of stuff, but move on to like different things. And we have all this new technology that's going to be coming in this week. So it's going to be pretty cool. And we'll add all of that on. And that's pretty much basically it. So that, and also here, no between plays on there. You got the logo, which is our logo, and then you have Wall Street. It's pretty cool. Just go onto the site at betweenplays.myshopify.com. Okay, so before we get all that done, naturally, this is all our opinion, of course. So let's have fun and let's go, Al. Let's talk about this FTX whole situation. What are you thinking is going on right now? I mean, I've seen so many things. Like one person's taken off trying to get to Dubai, going to Hong Kong. Another person's, all the way down in the Bahamas, or getting arrested or stuff. Is this crazy? Crazy. This is crazy. This is for sure a movie.
Well, it's actually a replay of that show I was watching when I was a kid. Where in the world is Carmen San Diego? It's where in the world are all these people now? It's craziness. Where are they going? Where are they hiding? There's all these rumors. One guy is the San Bankman-Fried guy. He was in Bahamas. No, he's in Argentina. No, he's going to Singapore. No, he's going to Dubai. So it's absolutely nuts. It's like a movie.
Yeah, no, it is pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. And what do you have for us today?
Right. So I'm gonna share the screen here and we're gonna do a quick overview like we do every week. We're gonna start off with just to show what's trending, and obviously pretty obvious that FTX is going to be the number one trending. It's I'm going to show the chart afterwards. It's the definition of destruction. It's insane. We have Solana. We're going to talk about briefly afterwards why it's so important. Doge, obviously, it's important because Elon Musk now owns Twitter, officially, and Doge is his little, pet toy. And then we've got, Bitcoin coming in at 1644. Ethereum still number two. Tether. I wanted to just talk about Tether and show that people that can't see the screen here, it's important that this is the really important because it's always been the major FUD. Every single market of Bitcoin ups and downs has always been, oh, Tether's gonna bust, Tether's gonna bust. And during the last, the whole debacle of the FTX when we were in the thick of it, Tether actually crashed a bit. It went under the dollar. It still is technically under a dollar, but it recovered pretty well. It's .9989, so it's pretty much at a buck. But when you compare, with USDC, which in my opinion is the next stable coin, here it's at a buck, and then you see USDC and even Binance stable coin, they actually spiked up, which is insane during the debacle. So it shows a lot of strength, I think. This is my opinion, but in those stable coins.
Well, the Binance, yeah, that shot up as well, right? Where it looked
Yeah, the actual Binance. So you have two. You have the Binance
the Binance
stable
USD.
coin,
Yeah,
and then the actual coin of Binance,
yeah.
which was pretty strong actually. It held a lot better than all the other ones because of they're showing that they're the big boys now, right?
Oh yeah,
Like we
yeah.
talked about last video. Okay, I wanted to talk. I'm gonna go to the screen and then I'm gonna come back to it. I
Okay.
just wanted to talk about where the price action is. We're at 16.4. So there's that major huge channel that we were up there. It was at 38, and then we were talking about 25 right here. I didn't draw the line of it, but we're down below the second channel right there, which is between 20 2025, and then 20, sorry about that. And then down, we went to 15.5 around. We bounced up. So we're playing around in that channel like we talked about last time. And then that major support, the last channel I'm looking for is in the 12,000. Why? Because of the last bounce right here. It's still above that, that 85 percent crash that we usually historically see on Bitcoin there, but we talked about that last video. I just want to show a different different pick here. So as I said, this is what destruction looks like. Look at this chart of FTX. It's absolutely insane. And this is in 7 days. I mean, look at that. From 23 bucks almost to, and now it's at $1.04, but it's literally worth, well, I don't know how it's worth anything, but
Yeah,
whatever.
well,
I
that's
guess
just it
people have
too.
value in it, right?
Well, I that's what I don't see how it's, I mean, it, I mean, it's a there's nothing there. So,
There's yeah,
but
there's
I think
nothing
it's
there.
just I just think it's people that maybe haven't been paying attention to the market, because a lot of people have not been looking ever since the market's been so chaotic, and then you have other people that are just they're probably stuck at 22 or something like that, and so much money involved, and didn't
They're just
react
not going to
fast enough.
sell. They're not. Yeah, they're just not going to sell. They're just going to hold a bag, waiting for, I don't know what, the
Whatever
tooth fairy or
happens,
something.
happens.
I don't know.
Well, whatever
Yeah,
happens,
exactly.
happens, right?
Yeah, exactly. So where are we at right now? You got to look at the past, right? I think it's super important. No, we're not in 2007, 2008. No, this is not the S&P 500, but looks a lot like it, I find. So I want to just compare, because I really think that history doesn't repeat, but it certainly rhymes. I think well, Terra Luna doesn't rhyme technically with Lehman. But in this case, I find it rhymes. I think, in my opinion, I think Lehman is like Terra Luna, right?
Okay.
Because if you look at the crash right here, it's the crash in S&P 500 started to crash in beginning of 2008, end of 2008, sorry, September. And then when you look at the price action here in Bitcoin, it started to crash right before the Terra Luna, which is at that line right here that I drew, which is at when Bitcoin was around 38,000. It started crashing from 47, then down to 38. Then the Terra Luna thing happened, and then boom, boom, boom. Look at where we are right now, right?
Yeah.
When crashing down a lot lower. Well, look
Yeah.
at Lehman. What happened here? Started going up a bit here, then down Lehman, crash happened, and then boom, it fell actually 50%,
It's
right?
not funny, but it's funny because you got like buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip, and then get me out,
Yep.
get me out,
Give
get
me
me
out, give
out.
me out. There you go.
It's not funny
And
because those people were probably really crying.
absolutely 100%,
Well,
everyone
wait,
was,
wait, why
right?
am I saying probably? No, those people were crying, and
I
some
remember
people,
very well,
yeah,
actually,
it was
those
it was a horrible time.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I look maybe young, but I was actually training back then, so you mentioned that.
It's
So
crazy.
I was actually training also in 2001, but that's another subject.
Well, we can talk
So
about that one day when you're sitting
yeah,
in the
yeah, there
back,
you
when
go.
you're sitting back over here, and
Yeah, yeah,
we're having a drink, and
yeah.
we'll
But I'm
talk
not a
about
trader,
that.
an investor, obviously, investor.
But
Um,
we'll still have fun with all that. One day when you're here, we'll record that and
yeah,
have it
yeah,
out there for the
absolutely.
people.
And so here's the thing, right? I just put up this short thing there. You see the red spot right here. It represents about 60% down. So we're about 60% down from where we right here. Sorry, there you go. 60% down from the top of the Terra Luna crash, or the beginning of the Terra Luna crash. Sorry, all the way to now, we're at 60%. Okay, and when you look at Lehman Brother, what happened from the Lehman at the moment Lehman Brothers crashed down to the bottom is around 50%. But so you're going to say, wow, well, the crash is done, and bottom's in for Bitcoin. Yeah, but you think that the S&P 500 is not the Bitcoin market?
So
Okay,
Bitcoin is down 60%
it's
since the
down
Terra Luna crash.
60%.
Bitcoin.
Yeah,
Okay.
Bitcoin. Sorry, Bitcoin. But it's the reference. Okay, I don't
Yeah.
look at the market of the other. A lot of people look at all the altcoins together with Bitcoin and whatnot. I still think that if you want to look where the market's going, you still have to look at Bitcoin. It's still the leading indicator. in my opinion.
No, absolutely. It's just for the people out there on Spotify and Apple Podcast. So just Bitcoin is what we're using to, and okay, so listen, this is crazy because you're 60% down.
Yep. But I still don't think it's over, because if you look at just the way that these things trade, right? If you have Nasdaq usually going up 2-3%, well, in good days, well, then Bitcoin's going to go up 6-7%, right? It's like we said, it's leveraged. Bitcoin is the leveraged version of the stock market until it's not going to be, which is not yet, right? Does that make any sense when I'm
Yeah,
explaining it that way?
absolutely, absolutely. It's
Perfect.
just we still have some room to go down, but we were saying
Yep.
that on the last video
Yep.
that it could go down to some of the bottoms of the when we put it over a 5 year graph. We were
Yep.
saying it's a possibility because we made that video as the whole Binance thing was actually occurring.
Right.
And then we're going, oh, okay, well, when we took out the 5 year chart, we're saying, well, look, it could possibly go lower because if you saw that there was lowered in the December 2009, I think it was December 2009 or December 2007. There was a point that we had taken from that video, and we said, well, from that part, it could still go down if something else transpires. As we're doing the video, well, something else did transpire, and
Yeah, 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 it was insane.
it
It's
was a
insane at that moment. At
it
that
was
moment, we
like
did it.
while we're doing the video, and it
Yeah.
was like the hey, what's going on there? It's honestly, this stuff is movie quality, right? I
It is,
mean,
it is, it is. And the other movie quality about it, I don't know if you remember in 2008 crash, it was the head, the sky was going to fall on her head, and then you had Goldman Sachs coming in saying, listen, you got to bail us out, or else literally
yeah,
everything's going to fall apart.
yeah, too big to
And
fail.
what did the government? And yeah, too big to fail. That's the plunge protection team.
Yeah,
And what did they do? They did it, right? And they saved Goldman, they saved everyone else. And even then, it still went down, right?
yeah,
But some would argue, and I agree, it would have gone down even more, a lot more, right?
yeah,
Which brings us to where we are at now, and I think pretty obvious that Binance saw it that way as well, and they knew that the government back then, they saved. I really think that they're actually seeing the link that I'm not reinventing the wheel here. I really think that they see the same thing that we're seeing right now, that
yeah,
we just saw. And that's why it says here, Binance pledges to create crypto industry recovery fund,
yeah.
and it
So
calls for regulation, which is two super important things, right? In this headline,
yeah,
Binance pledges to create crypto industry recovery fund. So what are they doing? They want to be the plunge protection team. They want to replace what the government did in 2008, and it calls for regulation. And that's two separate things, and two things that are absolutely 100% needed, and that we talked about, remember, in the last video.
so we have been mentioning since you started on the show, we have been mentioning, or you have been mentioning, the need for regulation. All right.
100%.
And you were saying, I'm not against it. I'm for
No.
regulation. With the regulation, it's going to give it like a certain form of legitimacy. Like it's going to say, like, this is legit now. So we're coming from the Wild Wild West. And what we're doing is we're calling, and that is what you were saying. You were saying that on this show since the beginning, way before this stuff is happening. Okay. That it regulation is important. All right. And now look at Binance. All right. He's calling for regulation. Man, you freaking nailed it right there, because a lot of people would have said, no, 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 we don't want the government's hand in here. We don't want this. We don't want that. We want it to be, decentralized Wild Wild West. But we were talking about all the good reasons. And I'll find that show and I'll put it up here. They'll see the link up here, and I'll put it at the end of the show for the link to be at the end of the show as well. But we were talking about why. Well, because it'll stop certain frauds. It'll stop this. It'll stop that. It'll
Absolutely,
stop,
100%.
money laundering or what the hell ever.
Yeah.
Okay. We were mentioning a whole bunch of different things, and it'll stop stuff like what we just saw with SBF, with Sam
FTX.
Bankman Friedman, SBF.
Yeah.
So it'll
Yeah.
stop stuff like this from happening, because if it would have been regulated beforehand, we probably wouldn't have gotten into, all these people losing out millions of dollars, right? Some
Yeah, and
people
if they know they can
millions of
get
dollars.
caught, I mean, they're not gonna try to come up with such an elaborate scheme, right? If you actually have a real police out there that's there to to arrest the bad guys and protect the people, but there's none, there's nothing.
Well,
I mean,
well, it's funny because anyone watching this show knows that my background. I'm a retired police officer. It says it in my description and all that kind of stuff. I don't hide it. And that's I'm trying to run the most. I'm trying to run a super legit show, give our opinions, but truthful based on our research. All right, and always put out there everything that we know and we can find. Now the thing is that while you say that, okay, that's one of the things that's always and I want to do a show on this one day, but that's one of the things that you just hit upon. White collar crime, it's and I don't have to say much about it. Just anyone can go and read and see and whatever, but white collar crime, it's very rare that things happen when it's white collar crime. Sad, because if someone's starving, if a person that's hungry goes to any type of store, um, and takes a chocolate bar, there's a very good chance that they're going to be arrested for theft under $5,000, and that really sucks because if they are actually convicted, that will follow them their whole adult life. And a white collar crime, you will get away with millions of stealing other people's money, pension funds, all kinds of stuff. Even the Teachers Association, I believe, had in the
yep,
FTX,
FTX,
and imagine a pension fund. They said it was a small portion,
yep,
you know what I mean? But still, regardless, you're
and
you're
BlackRock,
and you're affecting people's lives,
yep.
and the chances are, where is the police, as you just finished mentioning, and it sucks.
And while you're talking about it, you're talking about all these big names, all these big companies that obviously did due diligence, and he got them in. He fooled them. We're talking about FTX, and that's why I compare. We're comparing Lehman to Terra Luna, and I actually compared FTX to Goldman Sachs. And imagine if Goldman Sachs wasn't bailed out in 2008, what would have happened to the industry, right? And how low would have gone. He wants to create a recovery fund, but FTX is gone. He tried to save FTX. He realized all they didn't have anything. It was all fraud. So where are we at now, right? So the question is, who's next? As Bill Goldberg would say. Well, a lot of people are looking at Kronos, which is Crow, also crypto.com. It's under a lot of pressure. A lot of people are saying, well, listen, Binance says that companies that give a lot of yield, and that you have to buy their exchange token to finance their company, is not very legit. And then people are all of a sudden looking at, well, crypto.com sort of does that, right? And you look at the price action, it crashed a lot. Okay, in the last 7 days, it crashed a lot more than the others. It crashed about over 50%. But then it recovered recently because there's a lot of market. Look on Twitter, there's, I don't know if it's people or if it's a company that are paying for it, but there's a lot of pumping right now for Crow because they're crashing it down. They're looking at it like hedge funds do often. Who's next? Who's the next that we're going to short? Right now, it's they're looking at Crow a lot.
Okay, so Kronos right now is at 6 cents, almost 7 cents.
Right. So here we look at in the 13th, it was at almost 6 cents,
Almost
and
6 cents. Yeah.
went back up to 7 cents.
Okay.
But it was all the way up to 12 cents. So it crashed over 50%
Okay. Yeah,
recently,
that's
right?
a big crash.
It's a big crash. And then you look at like a Market Insider here article, says crypto.com CEO dismisses speculation of financial trouble, says that FTX exposure is minimal. So there's a lot of crisis aversion type of thing.
Okay.
And then if you go on another site here, it talks about crypto.com's race to reassure customers. It says that crypto.com suspended on November 9th deposits and withdrawals of USDC and USDT, which are the stable coin. on Solana blockchain, and that's, we were talked about that at the beginning of the show, why Solana is so big. Citing recent industry events,
Yeah.
FTX is an important bridge to this is very important. Yeah, they were a bridge and venue for Solana-based assets, including Solana NFTs. And so this was starting to be a pretty big, actually, and they had some problems with Solana in the past because it was getting too big too quick. But now, I mean, it's gonna fall a lot, and it might be the next. Also, this is not, crypto.com is an exchange slash, token, so a lot going on there, but Solana is really the token itself, so that might be also another one that that could keep on crashing even more, because a lot of people are saying, yeah, sure, the fallout of all of this is there's billions of dollars that are lost, and people's money that are gone. But some people are saying that there's actually a fallout of over $50 billion in itself. Why? Because a lot of money was in FTX, right? And if FTX, crypto.com, let's say, who knows how much money they have in it. Let's say they lose that, and then crypto.com goes belly up. Let's say Solana goes belly up because they had too much exposure to FTX. Who knows? Tether, I mean, look at this crash, happened so quickly. Nobody really knows. And then there's also obviously BlockFi, which is not an actual coin, but it's an exchange, and they also halted their withdrawals. And BlockFi is also a very big name, not as big as FTX, but it's another one that can go down in the Contagion. And how low can it go, right?
Yeah, this
I think it could go lower. I actually think it can go lower. I think it can go lower than the 60%, and we can touch that 12,000 for Bitcoin, maybe even lower, maybe 11, 10, who knows? I don't think it can go any lower. Who knows? I mean, it could go lower, but it would need a lot more. Because listen, I mean, the 85% correction in Bitcoin historically has always stood. I still think it can stand. So, but
well,
yeah,
you,
it's
you
crazy
know
times.
the whole thing that you're talking about here and who's next. All right.
Yeah,
I mean, it's the house of cards. It's the
yep,
house of cards. And there's a card that was pulled and things are just falling apart. And the thing is that when you really, really think about it, I mean, this really does look like the whole 2008 fiasco. I mean, it started with, the derivatives, the housing market, and then it just and then ended up like banks were going belly up all over the place. And
yep,
then it came down to the big boys. They were going down. They were going down,
yep,
and they were like, "Look, if we fail, everybody's coming down with us." And it's like that's where the whole thing too big to fail came out from. But what
yep,
really sucks out of all that is when you look at that history, as soon as they got all this money from the government to bail them all out, all right, a whole bunch of CEOs took massive, massive, massive bonuses. It's insane.
yep. Yeah, and they kept the money on their balance sheet, and that's another whole thing. But I think Bitcoin was created out of this picture we're seeing right now, this graph. This was the reason for the creation of Bitcoin.
Crazy.
And it's crazy, and that's what it is, and that's where we are right now in the Bitcoin cycle, if you wish, in the crypto cycle. And I think it's just a way of the market, if you wish, of saying, no, you're off. This is not what it's supposed to be. You're just replaying the errors of the big banks in 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
And you need to get back on track. And I think the Bitcoin itself is going to keep on going. It's going to be strong. A lot of assets out there, the quote unquote shit coins are obviously shit. And they're just going to go crashing down. And it's just a way for the market to, to clean itself out. I think for it to come back strong, it has to come through regulation if they wanted to go through the venue of banks, the new type of banks that they want to create with the crypto industry. Has to come with regulation, obviously. And yeah, it's crazy, crazy times. It was just, I really think it's not over,
No,
basically.
I don't think it's over. And
It's
you know what? What I find really interesting is a whole Alameda research.
yeah,
Alameda research. I find the CEO. I don't remember her name. Like
his girlfriend.
his girl, she's on
It
the
is.
run.
Yeah,
He's gone somewhere.
yeah.
He's gone somewhere. She's gone somewhere else. They're running around the planet trying to get away. And then you have the CEO of, is it Tyrannos? Was it Tyrannos, the CEO of Tyrannos, the Asian guy? Wasn't he
Oh, you mean
supposedly
Terra Luna?
Terra Luna? Wasn't he on the run
Yeah.
too? Like, was it? Oh, he says, no, I'm right here. Come, I'm like, I'm not running. I'm right here. I'm right here. But you don't find them anywhere.
But it's insane because when I started to follow Bitcoin, one of the reasons I wanted to get in and then I stopped wanting to get in was because of the whole Mount Gox thing. I'm like, oh my god, this is a Mickey Mouse show. I mean, I'm gonna lose all my money. This is ridiculous. And Mount Gox was a Mickey Mouse show, right? But this is still Mickey Mouse,
Oh, it's
but
Mickey
with a
Mouse.
budget in the billions.
Oh, with big
It's
names,
insane.
big money.
It's
It's
insane. I can't believe that we're still there.
you
I
know
still can't believe that all these frauds are being done the same way, like these small frauds, but on such a huge scale, and they're getting all these super smart people, into it, which is
Hey,
insane.
what's crazy is that you start saying the word billions like it's almost normal because so many companies now are hitting the $1 billion mark,
Yep.
and you have all these coins that are hitting the $1 billion market caps. You're like, what the? It's almost like as if it's normal. And
Yeah.
what's really crazy is that when these certain people end up trying to run away, like after they do what they've done, like it's like, oh, they're running, a person's running away with like 500 million only out of the 33 billion that they had or whatever, 10 billion or whatever. If I was running away from anything, even if I had 10 million, that is forget about it. Your kids are good,
Yeah.
everybody's good. It's ridiculous. These people are running away with 500 million, and oh, you're running like as if it's nothing because we're so used to
It's
saying
funny.
billions
Yeah.
now. All
It's
right.
like they're saying, oh, the only he's running away with like 5% of his net worth. Poor him. Yeah, what? It's like we're
Really?
talking about hundreds of millions or tens of millions of dollars. Like,
Absolutely, it's insane. Oh, it's
yeah.
okay. It's okay. It's
Oh,
nothing.
poor
Look,
him.
look. Come on, the guy had $10 billion, and now he only has 300 million. Feel sorry for the guy. He's running down to Argentina or whatever to live in a warmer climate. You know, when their money already is worth like almost hardly anything down there. So now his 300 million is freaking worth like 10 times that. Well,
So he's back to his three
he's
billion
back
or
to his
whatever.
billions. It's absolutely insane. Really, like I had 10 million. If I had $10 million in the bank, that would be insane. The kid, my children's great grandchildren would be living off of that. I'd be
Yep.
investing in real estate, and there'd just be return. The return on investment would just be coming in, coming in, coming in, coming in. It would just be unbelievable. It's just ridiculous. But you know what? That's just the way it seems to roll. We'll see what happens in the end with all this because it really looks like a whole Lehman thing again. And it's crazy because if we take in all the years like Bernie Madoff, Lehman, it was Elizabeth Holmes back in, oof, I don't remember the name of the company. I had it there somewhere. She did something back in the day. It was like a medical, something for medical. Like you do a pinprick on your fingertip, and it would be able, just that little pinprick alone, and you'd be able to like verify for all kinds of diseases. And her thing skyrocketed. That was early 2000s, 2001 or something like that. 2000, I don't
The
remember.
tech
It was,
boom.
huh?
The tech boom.
Yeah, it was early. So when you really look at all this stuff, I mean, like every 7 years or something like that, or whatever, it almost looks like there's another huge scandal involving major money of that time, because we have to take into perspective the value of money all that time. I'll never forget when companies were hitting the millions. Oh, like, look, they're hitting the millions. It's a big freaking thing. And then one day somewhere in those years, oh, we hit 1 billion. Oh, and now in 2020, whatever, we have people hitting the trillions, right? Like
Yeah,
Amazon and Elon Musk.
yeah, exactly. The companies are now $1 trillion. It's insane.
It's insane, right?
Yeah, but
So
that's inflation, right?
that's inflation, exactly.
So back in
So
the day, $50,000, if you had a family household that had that, you lived very well. But now, what is 50,000 in North America? It's they're running around trying to paycheck
and
to
the
paycheck.
and the crazy thing is about $50,000. It doesn't have anything close to the value that it used to have, but
Yep,
poor people cannot even reach that kind of money.
exactly.
It's
Yeah,
crazy. So the distance between the rich and the poor, the gap is absolutely extraordinary in these
yeah,
times. But anyways, that's all another show.
yep,
Al, I'm really, really happy that you were on again today. You brought some, great insight. Who's next? That's what we should be watching out for,
yeah,
because as we are diverted into this whole movie of following these planes and jets and where they're next and all this kind of stuff, we might not be paying attention to our wallets. And that's what we should be paying attention to, because the who's next is very important. Thanks for all the research. So everybody out there, always remember, thanks for being here today on Between Plays. And always remember, research, prepare, plan, execute. Stay strong. Al, thanks a lot. On to the next show, guys.
yep.
This episode is brought to you by TriStar, West Island, and 360 Punch, where there's something for everyone. 2144 Trans Canada Route, Dorval, Quebec, H9P 2N4. Go to their website for more information. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Between Plays Stock Market Strategies. Hit the like and the subscribe button. Head off into our description below if you'd like to know where all of our social media links are, and also the podcast, whether it be Apple or Spotify. We will be doing interviews with CEOs, with analysts, and it's not only on the stock market itself, but also on cryptocurrencies and blockchains. We will have guest speakers. We will be doing panels. You will be able to enjoy a lot of different content. Have a great day, and always remember, research, prepare, plan, execute. Stay strong.